Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics as Non-Classics. This is episode number 655 and Doubleshot number 6. This is 655 and Doubleshot number 559. Okay? I have one IDW trade and one Marvel trade. First up, it is Transformers G.I. Joe First Strike Champions. This collects all the one shots that tie into First Strike. Yes, every single one. And there's only about 6 of them. You have the one from Micronauts, ROM, G.I. Joe, M.A.S.K, Optimus Prime, and Transformers. John Barber writes the Optimus Prime and Transformers one shots. Albert Sassurin does the one shots for M.A.S.K and G.I. Joe, and Christos Gage does the one shots for Micronauts and ROM. Now, I don't know. It seems so odd though that now it makes sense that Christos Gage would do the writing for the ROM First Strike one shot because after all he was writing the ROM series at that point. But okay, why did the IDW choose him to write the Micronauts series? I mean, yeah, Christos Gage is a great writer. And I think later on he did write the ROM Micronauts miniseries. Yeah, simply put, this whole point of these one-shots is to kind of explain, like, they're just simple tie-ins. Unlike Marvel, when they do crossovers, they have tie-ins from actual ongoing series, they have miniseries, various one-shots. They have a tendency to overdo it at times. When IDW has done it, and this is basically IDW's thing. They don't do, like, a heavy amount of tie-ins. Valiant does the same thing, where it has I think usually 2 miniseries and a few one shots. That is it. Do you know what IDW's approach is? Simply put, a series of one shots that loosely connect to each other. This was simply a one shot connected to a miniseries. At least in the case of the comic companies that are Marvel and DC, at least that the independent companies don't overdo it like Marvel and DC does. I mean, take a look at DC's last known crossover, DC's Dark Knight's Metal, Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah, it was a mini series. They had a series of one shots. Excuse me, and 2 crossovers that kind of tie into what was going on there. And the 2 crossovers were Gotham Resistance and Bats from Hell. This, you gotta praise it for that. Now, the only series that actually was publishing prior to First Strike is not part of this thing. Actually, it was 2 of them did not have one shots. They were not part of this thing. One was 2 All in One. They didn't have one shot tied into this thing. They did have one. They did have one for Revolution, but not First Strike because the book got axed prior to this crossover came out. Yeah. But these one shots are fantastic. I highly recommend them. People are fans of all these franchises. And here's kind of the weird thing. After this event wrapped up, you have, well, of course, like I said, the Ramen Micronauts miniseries, which is only 5 issues, and plus you also have the miniseries ROM versus Transformers, which I have the trade for that. I checked it out from the library. I'm gonna review that soon. But yeah, that's all Rom did, was do a couple miniseries because his series got axed just prior to the series. I think it was just after this event wrapped up, his series got axed and got put in a couple miniseries, and that's all they did with him. Transformers lost light, and its Prime is still continuing, no problem. G.I. Joe got axed after 9 issues, replaced with Scarlet Strike. That one, along with M.A.S.K, replaced with Scarlet Strike Force, which, of course, like I said before, the writer made a dick of himself on Twitter, so people pretty much didn't buy his books. The book got axed at the 6 issues because no one bought it. Yeah. But oddly enough, the one character who didn't have a series even at Revolution was Action Man. He's done, well, what has he done? He popped in Revolutionaries. He popped up in this crossover. Didn't do very much, and that's it. Yeah. But one thing about these one-shots, though, is that they actually kind of explain, like in the case of the Micronauts one, it does kind of explain what the Micronauts were up to throughout the entirety of the crossover. They were on Earth during the crossover. Yeah, that's what's explained in their one-shot they had. Yeah. And of course, that was continued in the ROM one-shot as well, which later led to their miniseries, which was really good. Yeah. mean, that's one thing I gotta praise about these one shots. They're very loosely connected. Like the first two are connected to each other, and of course, here, this is Cobra Commander. If you don't know, like, okay, why is Cobra Commander a woman? Okay, you want to know who this is? This is the Baroness, who took over as Cobra Commander during the the recent GI Joe ongoing series, the last known one they had before it got axed and replaced with Scarlet Strike Force. Yeah, she took over as the Baroness, and the Baroness took over as Cobra Commander, and she's been Cobra Commander for at least for over a year at this point. Yeah, just basically this one shot is just what the Joes on Earth were up to during First Strike. Yeah, it's basically what everybody was up to on Earth. Yep. And this led into This led into the M.A.S.K one shot. That's one thing that got interesting, got praised though about these one shots. Like Micronauts led to ROM, and GI Joe later led into the M.A.S.K one shot. The same thing happened with Optimus Prime, where it started off, and here's the woman who is Flint's daughter. Yeah, this gorgeous woman is Flint's daughter. Melissa Fairborn, who was the head of Earth Defense Command, who later basically became the ambassador. Yeah, fun little one shot that later, like I said, leads directly into. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't actually do that. Surprisingly, you probably think it would because of Transformers Blade. Nope. It just basically story features Action Man, Cup, and that's it. It just basically just a standard one shot that just deals with stuff going on. Yeah. But great set of one shots. I'm gonna get this a 9.75 out of 10. They're really good. I do recommend this plus the Action Mini series itself. Next up, it is X-Men Gold Volume 0 Homecoming. Now, those of you thinking, okay, why does Gold have a 0 when the issue? Why does it have a 0? This is not the only one that actually has done this. Spider-Man Deadpool did the same thing, where it had Volume 0, and it had the early team-up appearances that they had team up together. The other Volume 0s were just simply put collected issues from previous one, like they did for Silk, Howard the Duck, Old Man Logan, and there was a couple of ones. Deadpool and the Mercs Money, and Amazing Spider-Man New Vows. This one has nothing to do with the ongoing series. Yeah, this particular trade collects X-Men Volume 2 issues 70 to 79, the X-Men Doc Doom Annual 98, and material from X-Men Unlimited number 18. Yeah, these stories are mostly focused on Morrow and Dr. Magnet. Morrow, Magnet, and Dr. Cecily Reyes. Yeah, despite the fact this is about the X-Men, this is mainly about these two characters on the cover. Yeah, that's who this on the cover. Yep. And you're wondering, who wrote these things? Okay. The writers are Joe Kelly, Joe Casey, Bill Rosman, and Jorge Gonzalez. Yeah, these are the writers. Here are the artists. Carlos Pacillo, Jeff Johnson, Garmin Garcia, Matt Braum, Aaron Lipsy. I met this guy. Very nice guy. And Martin England. The cover art in here. This is done by Carlos Pacillo, Art Tibbett, and Liquid. Yeah, Art Tibbett is an inker, and Liquid is the colorist. Carlos also does the back cover, and Art Tibbett does the color art. He's the back cover. And those of you curious about the cover, yes, it's a homage to Giants SX #1. One of many different covers that have homaged that particular cover over the years. This is not the only one. They did the same thing for the first issue of Ecstatic. Let's see. I'm trying to think though, what other comics did it for? Let's see. They've done it for various other groups over the years, but X-Men's had a few different ones. It's one of like two I could think of. The other, of course, being the 100th issue for the series, where it's had frequent homages over the years. As a matter of fact, in the blue one, which I'm going to cover in a couple episodes, that one has a homage to X-Men 100. Mostly put, despite the fact this does feature the X-Men, these issues are mainly focused on the character of Maggot and Morrow. Yes, that is who these characters. That's who the series is focused on. And of course, Angel, who apparently has the ability to switch from being blue to pink skin. Yeah, I don't know how in the world he gets to happen. And plus, he gets a chance to fight somebody he has never fought before or since since these issues came out. Hulk villain Abomination. I'm not kidding. And this is like well over a decade before the guy got killed off by the Red Hulk. Yeah. These are pretty. This is a really good set of issues, though. This does kind of set something happens in the Candy X-Men with Return of Department H and Alpha Flight. Yep. So great set of issues, and it's really thick too. Look how thick this trade is, and this is a volume 0, and the regular trades only collect 6 issues, and like it's like half the size of this thing. Yeah, because it also collects an annual where the Silver Age Doctor Doom works with the X-Men for some reason. Plus, we have a 2-parter that features the X-Men having a fight with the Shadow King, which I'm like, okay, in X-Men Gold, they don't fight the Shadow King. They did that recently in the pages of Astonishing X-Men. So, honestly, the only reason why I think they threw that in there because, well, the part of the set of issues. I'm going to get this a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. It doesn't like cross off any books, but it does set up the 35th, the ending. Like last issue is like next, the 35th anniversary of the X-Men, which basically I read those issues. Yeah, the issues of Chris Claremont's second era on the books is one of the most bizarre one of the most bizarre stories I have ever read. Yeah, the artwork is pretty good, but the storytelling is just kind of bad. Really, really bad. Yeah, lucky enough his third era was a lot better than his second one. Like, oh my gosh, his second era only lasted barely a year before he left. Alright, so that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which I've got 2 DC trades to talk about in the next episode, okay? But to see you there, bye.